A single decision made in 1923 would lead to 3 wars, over 30,000 deaths, and 1 million refugees. The territory? Smaller than the state of Delaware. The population? Just 150,000 people at its peak. Yet this tiny mountainous region has been the flashpoint for one of the world's bloodiest post-Soviet conflicts. This is Nagorno-Karabakh. And if you want to understand why Armenia and Azerbaijan have fought for decades, you need to understand this place. Welcome back to Geopolitical Owl, where behind every border lies a blueprint. I'm your host, and today we're decoding the part 2 of our Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict series, Nagorno-Karabakh, Heart of the Conflict. So, what exactly is Nagorno-Karabakh? Let's start with the basics. The name tells a story. Nagorno means mountainous in Russian. Karabakh comes from Turkic and Persian, meaning black garden. But Armenians don't call it that. They call it Artsakh, a name stretching back over 2,000 years to ancient kingdoms. Geographically, it's a landlocked mountain region covering about 4,400 square kilometers in the South Caucasus. Picture rugged terrain, dense forests, and strategic high ground. In warfare, whoever controls the mountains controls everything below. But here's the paradox. Nagorno-Karabakh lies within Azerbaijan's internationally recognized borders. Every major country, as well the United Nations, acknowledges this. Yet for over a century, the region's population has been overwhelmingly Armenian. The numbers. In 1923, Armenians made up 94% of the population. By 1989, on the eve of conflict, that was still 77%. This is the core tension. A territory legally part of one nation, demographically dominated by another. International law says one thing. The people living there feel something completely different. To understand this conflict, we need both perspectives. Armenia's claim rests on 3 foundations. First, historical presence. Armenians point to ancient kingdoms that existed here for millennia, including the kingdom of Artsakh, one of the medieval Armenian principalities, as well as to hundreds of Armenian churches and monasteries, some over 1,000 years old. For them, this is their ancestral homeland, where Armenian civilization took root long before modern nations existed. Second, demographic reality. If 94% of a region's population is Armenian, shouldn't they have the right to determine their own future? This reflects the principle of self-determination in international law. Third, security. After violence in the late 1980s, Nagorno-Karabakh became linked to Armenian survival, protection from becoming a vulnerable minority. Now Azerbaijan's claim, equally firm. First, territorial integrity. This is bedrock international law. Nagorno-Karabakh lies within Azerbaijan's borders, recognized by virtually every country, including the United Nations. Accepting its loss means accepting that borders can change through force, a dangerous global precedent. Second, historical sovereignty. Before Russian and Soviet rule, this region was part of Azerbaijani and Turkic Khanates. Azerbaijanis point to Shusha, birthplace of their classical music, destroyed in war. For them, Armenian dominance is more recent historically. Third, displacement. During the 1990s war, approximately 700,000 Azerbaijanis were expelled from Nagorno-Karabakh and surrounding territories. That's nearly 10% of Azerbaijan's population forced from their homes. This is about their refugees' right to return. Both sides genuinely believe history and justice are on their side. That's why this conflict has been impossible to resolve. Every conflict has an origin point. For Nagorno-Karabakh, it came in July 1923 when Joseph Stalin made a decision that would echo for a century. After the Russian Empire collapsed and Soviets consolidated power, they faced a question. How do we organize this ethnic mosaic? Initially, in 1921, the decision favored Armenia, but Stalin, then Commissar of Nationalities, reversed it. On July 5, 1923, Nagorno-Karabakh Autonomous Oblast was created within Azerbaijan, despite its 94% Armenian majority. Why? The official reason cited economic ties, but historians point to divide and rule strategy. By embedding an Armenian region inside Azerbaijan, Stalin created built-in tension. Both republics would need Moscow as mediator. It's an ancient imperial tactic. Subjects are easier to control when focused on each other rather than you. For Armenians, 1923 became historical injustice. For Azerbaijanis, legitimate territorial organization. Either way, the seeds were planted. For 65 years, they lay dormant, held by Soviet power. But seeds don't disappear. They wait. Fast forward to February 1988. The Soviet Union was cracking. Gorbachev's reforms, glasnost, and perestroika were meant to save the system. Instead, they opened Pandora's box. Across the USSR, suppressed national grievances suddenly erupted. Nagorno-Karabakh was one of the first. On February 20th, 1988, something unprecedented happened. Nagorno-Karabakh's regional government voted to secede from Azerbaijan and join Armenia. This challenged 65 years of Soviet arrangement. The reaction was massive. In Yerevan, hundreds of thousands flooded the streets. In Azerbaijan, fury erupted. Within days, anti-Armenian violence in Sumgait left dozens dead. Moscow's response revealed how overwhelmed Gorbachev was. He rejected the secession, citing territorial integrity. This satisfied nobody. Armenians felt betrayed. Azerbaijanis felt emboldened. Through 1988 and 1989, the situation spiraled. Protests, ethnic clashes, and demographic separation began. Armenians left Azerbaijan. Azerbaijanis left Armenia. Communities that lived together for generations separated along ethnic lines. By 1991, as the Soviet Union collapsed, Nagorno-Karabakh declared independence. Neither side recognized it, setting the stage for full-scale war. The First Nagorno-Karabakh War, 1988 to 1994, transformed political dispute into humanitarian catastrophe. Early on, from 1988 to 1991, violence was chaotic, ethnic clashes and irregular militias. After Soviet collapse in December 1991, it escalated into full interstate war. The fighting was brutal. Urban warfare, artillery bombardments, tank battles in mountain passes. This was neighbors fighting neighbors, towns destroyed. The numbers are devastating. Between 1988 and 1994, an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people died. The displacement was staggering. Approximately 700,000 Azerbaijanis fled from Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 surrounding districts. Meanwhile, 300,000 to 500,000 Armenians left Azerbaijan. Over 1 million people displaced. By 1994, Armenian forces controlled not just Nagorno-Karabakh, but 7 surrounding Azerbaijani districts, massively expanding the dispute. In May 1994, a Russian-brokered ceasefire was signed. But this was ceasefire, not a peace treaty. No final status agreed, no refugees returned, no borders settled. Nagorno-Karabakh entered a state of legal limbo, de facto independent and Armenian-controlled, yet internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan. They called it a frozen conflict, but frozen conflicts rarely stay frozen forever. So that's Nagorno-Karabakh, the heart of the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict, a mountain region where ancient history, demographics, and Soviet decisions collided. What makes it difficult is both sides have genuine grievances. Armenia sees a people fighting for self-determination on ancestral land. Azerbaijan sees territorial integrity violated and nearly 1 million citizens displaced. Neither is entirely wrong. The 1994 ceasefire resolved nothing. It froze the conflict for 26 years, leaving refugees waiting, wounds unhealed, core questions unanswered. But frozen conflicts don't stay frozen. In Part 3, we explore the 2020 Armenia-Azerbaijan War, when 26 years of frozen conflict erupted into 44 days of intense combat that completely redrew the map. Turkish drones, Russian peacekeepers, decisive Azerbaijani victory. What happened? How did Azerbaijan achieve in 44 days what seemed impossible for decades? If this breakdown was valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to Geopolitical Owl. Turn on notifications for Part 3. Behind every border lies a blueprint, and we're here to decode it together. See you in the next one.